Isaac stood at the edge of the ethereal river, its waters shimmering with hues of blue and silver. The souls of the departed drifted toward him, their forms glowing softly like lanterns in a fog. As the sole ferryman, Isaac guided them across the river to their final rest, a duty he had performed for centuries. His features were timeless, a chiseled face framed by dark hair and eyes that held the weight of countless lifetimes. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon of the living world, Isaac noticed something amiss. A soul was missing from the procession. He consulted his ledger, an ancient book that listed the names of the departed. Lily Thompson, age 27, should have appeared before him, but the riverbank remained empty. Puzzled, Isaac reached out with his senses, trying to locate Lily's soul. All he found was a void, as if she had vanished entirely. This was unprecedented. Souls might be reluctant or confused, but they never simply disappear. Concern turned to urgency when over the following days, more souls failed to arrive. The river's flow felt thinner, the air heavier. Determined to uncover the cause, Isaac sought out the gatekeeper of the dead, a towering figure cloaked in shadows at the entrance to the netherworld. "Souls are vanishing," Isaac said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. The gatekeeper's eyes glowed faintly. "I am aware, Trey," he rumbled. "A darkness stirs beyond our realms. Something disrupts the natural order. Then I must cross the boundary." Isaac declared, "Gary, I need to find out what's happening." The gatekeeper hesitated. "The unknown realms are perilous, even for one such as you. But if you choose this path, know that it may alter your very essence." Isaac nodded solemnly. With a gesture from the gatekeeper, a portal opened, a swirling vortex of shadows and light. Isaac took a deep breath and stepped through. Emerging on the other side, Isaac found himself in a landscape unlike any he had known. The sky was a tumult of dark clouds streaked with crimson. The ground was barren, cracked like a dried riverbed. This was the Shadow Realm, a place where lost souls wandered and malevolent forces reigned. As he ventured deeper, the oppressive atmosphere weighed on him. Whispers filled the air, faint, indistinct murmurs that set his nerves on edge. Suddenly, a figure lunged from the shadows. Isaac dodged just in time, confronting what appeared to be a distorted soul, its form twisted and eyes hollow. "Who are you?" Isaac demanded. The creature hissed before retreating into the darkness. Realizing he was vulnerable here, Isaac pressed on with caution. Hours or perhaps days passed. Time seemed irrelevant in this forsaken place. Just as exhaustion threatened to overtake him, a voice called out, "You don't belong here." Isaac turned to see an old man with weary eyes and tattered robe. "I'm searching for the souls that have vanished," Isaac said. "I am Orman," the man replied, "once a ferryman like you. I was trapped here long ago." Isaac's eyes widened. "Orin, the one who disappeared centuries past?" Orin nodded. "I have been battling the darkness ever since. An entity known as the Eater of Souls is consuming them to amass power." "Can it be stopped?" Isaac asked. Perhaps Orin said, thoughtfully so, but not alone. Together they navigated the treacherous terrain. Orin led them to a cavern where the walls pulsed with an eerie light. "This is where the Eater of Souls draws its strength," he explained. Before they could formulate a plan, a woman stepped out from the shadows. She was striking with silver hair and eyes that seemed to pierce through them. "My name is Mora," she said smoothly. "I know why you're here." "Can you help us?" Isaac asked wearily. "I can," she replied, a faint smile playing on her lips. But everything has a price." Isaac felt a chill. "What do you want?" "A soul," Mara said simply. "Exchange for the knowledge you seek." Isaac's mind raced. Trading a soul went against everything he stood for. "Deal, there must be another way." Mara shrugged. "Perhaps, but time is slipping away. The Eater grows stronger with each passing moment." Orin placed a hand on Isaac's shoulder. "TP can't afford to lose more souls." Isaac took a deep breath. "Very well, take part of my own essence." Mura raised an eyebrow. "A risky offer? Giving up a fragment of your soul could weaken you irrevocably." "I accept that," Isaac said firmly. "Agreed." Extending her hand, Isaac felt a sharp pain as a sliver of his essence passed to her. She closed her eyes briefly, then spoke. "Tra, the Eater's core lies in the abyssal spire, guarded by shadows that cannot be fought by conventional means. You must use light forged from your own soul to penetrate its defenses." With the information they needed, Isaac and Orin set out for the abyssal spire. The journey was arduous. The shadows seemed alive, reaching out with tendrils that sapped their strength. As they neared the spire, Isaac felt his energy waning. The cost of the bargain with Mara was taking its toll. "We're close," Orin encouraged. At the base of the spire, a chasm opened before them, filled with swirling darkness. Across it stood the entrance, guarded by two colossal shadow wraiths. Isaac summoned the light within him, channeling it into a radiant orb. The wraiths recoiled, shrieking as the light cut through the darkness. Seizing the moment, they crossed the chasm and entered the spire. Inside, the atmosphere was suffocating. The walls seemed to pulsate with malevolent energy. At the center stood the Eater of Souls, a towering figure shrouded in darkness, eyes glowing like embers. "You dare confront me? You've disrupted the balance," Isaac declared. "I won't allow you to consume any more souls." The Eater laughed, a sound that rattled the very foundations of the spire. "Perhaps you are but a flicker against the abyss." Isaac and Orin exchanged a glance. This was it, the culmination of their perilous journey. Summoning every ounce of strength, Isaac unleashed a beam of pure light. Orin joined him, adding his own energy to the attack. The Eater staggered but quickly retaliated, sending waves of darkness crashing toward them. The force knocked Orin to the ground. Isaac struggled to maintain the light, his earlier sacrifice leaving him weakened. "Isaac," Orin shouted, "use the core." In that moment, Isaac remembered Moore's words. Reaching into his cloak, he pulled out a small crystal, an artifact Orin had given him earlier. It was imbued with the essence of the souls the Eater had consumed. With a surge of determination, Isaac hurled the crystal at the Eater. The artifact exploded in a burst of light, enveloping the dark entity. The Eater let out a roar of agony as the trapped souls within it began to break free. But the victory was short-lived. The ground shook violently, and the spire started to collapse. "We have to leave, Kaile," Orin shouted. As they made their escape, debris rained down. A massive beam fell toward Isaac, but Orin pushed him aside, taking the impact himself. "Orin," Isaac cried out, rushing to his side. Orin smiled weakly. "My time has come. Finish this." Before Isaac could respond, Orin's form dissolved into light, joining the freed souls ascending toward the realm of peace. Isaac stood alone as the spire crumbled around him. Gathering his remaining strength, he raced toward the exit, the walls closing in. Just as the last passageway sealed shut, he leaped through the portal, landing back in the shadow realm. The landscape was changing, the oppressive darkness lifting, replaced by a gray twilight. The souls were no longer trapped. He could see them drifting upward, free at last. Exhausted, Isaac knew he had to return to his own realm, but the journey back was a blur. His vision dimmed and his legs gave way. The toll of his sacrifices was too great. As consciousness faded, he wondered if this was the end of his own journey. Isaac awoke to a gentle breeze and the soft glow of the ethereal river. The familiar sounds of souls drifting filled the air. He was back, but something was different. The gatekeeper stood before him, a somber expression on his face. "You have succeeded," the gatekeeper said. "The balance is restored." Isaac tried to stand but felt a weakness he had never known. Why do I feel diminished?" "You gave much of yourself," the gatekeeper replied. Your essence is now intertwined with both realms. Your time as the ferryman is nearing its end." A pang of sorrow hit Isaac. What will happen to the souls? Who will guide them? "Another will take your place when the time comes," the gatekeeper assured him. But for now, there are souls that still need you." At that moment, a familiar figure appeared at the river's edge. Lily Thompson stood there, her soul's light gentle yet radiant. Isaac approached her. "I've been waiting for you," Kayleigh said softly. She looked at him with gratitude. "Thank you, Treasure," she whispered. "I was lost, but now I feel at peace." Guiding her onto the ferry, Isaac felt a sense of fulfillment. As they crossed the river, he realized that his purpose had evolved. He was no longer just a guide but a guardian, ensuring the safety of the souls entrusted to him. Upon reaching the other side, Lily's soul ascended, joining the stars in the sky. Isaac watched until her light faded into the cosmos. Turning back, he saw a line of souls awaiting his guidance. Each one carried stories, hopes, and remnants of lives once lived. Despite his fading strength, Isaac resumed his duties with renewed dedication. The river flowed steadily, and the natural rhythm of life and death beat on. The memory of Orin's sacrifice and the victory over the Eater of Souls fueled his resolve. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Isaac knew his time was limited. One evening, as the sun cast golden hues across the river, the gatekeeper appeared once more. "It is time," he said gently. Isaac nodded, feeling a calm acceptance. "Sure, will the new ferryman honor the path we've paved?" "They will," the gatekeeper assured him. "Your legacy will guide them." As Isaac took his final journey across the river, the souls he had ferried appeared along the banks, their lights illuminating the wet. They bowed their heads in silent gratitude, a testament to the lives he had touched. Reaching the far shore, Isaac stepped onto the land he had never traversed, a realm of peace and unity. The weight of ages lifted from his shoulders. In the distance, he saw figures waiting for him. Orin stood among them, a warm smile on his face. "Welcome home," Orin said. Isaac smiled, feeling a profound peace. Good to be back." The two walked together into the horizon, the light embracing them. Behind them, the river continued to flow, and a new ferryman took up the mantle, guided by the legacy of those who came before. The new ferryman stood at the edge of the ethereal river, the current whispering tales of lives once lived. His name was Elias, a young man whose life had been marked by loss and longing. Unlike Isaac, Elias had not sought out this role. It had chosen him, drawn by the purity of his heart and the resilience of his spirit. He gazed across the shimmering waters, feeling the weight of the responsibility that now rested upon his shoulder. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Elias felt a presence beside him. Isaac's spirit, now one with the realm of peace, appeared as a gentle glow, a comforting reminder of the sacrifices made to preserve the balance between life and death. "Welcome, Elias asked. Isaac's voice echoed softly. "Your journey begins now." Elias took a deep breath, the cool morning air filling his lungs. He could feel the souls around him, each one carrying their own story, their own final wishes. The role of the ferryman was not just to guide them across the river, but to honor their memories and ensure their peaceful rest. It was a sacred duty, one that required both strength and compassion. As the day progressed, Elias began to understand the intricacies of his new role. He watched as souls approached the riverbank, some hesitant, others eager to cross. Each interaction was unique, a testament to the diverse lives that had touched the world. He listened to their stories, offering comfort and assurance as they prepared to embark on their final journey. One afternoon, a weary soul approached him. She was a middle-aged woman named Margaret, her spirit heavy with unspoken regret. Elias sensed her turmoil and knelt beside her. Margaret, I began gently, "Deal with what burdens your heart." She looked into his eyes, searching for understanding. "I left so much undone. Dear," she whispered. "Opportunities I never took, words I never said. I fear I'm not ready to let go." Elias placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "So it's never too late to find peace. Your time here has come, and it's a chance to release those burdens. Trust that the journey ahead will bring you the rest you seek." Margaret took a deep breath, her form beginning to glow brighter as the weight of her regrets lifted. "Thank you," she murmured, stepping onto the ferry as the river began to carry her toward the light. As weeks turned into months, Elias grew more attuned to the rhythms of the river and the souls he guided. He encountered a myriad of spirits, young and old, joyous and sorrowful, all seeking passage to their final rest. Each encounter taught him more about the delicate balance between life and death, and the importance of his role in maintaining that equilibrium. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and pink, Elias felt a familiar presence approaching. It was Mara, the enigmatic being who had once bargained for knowledge at a great cost. Her silver hair shimmered in the twilight, and her eyes held the same piercing intensity that had once unsettled Isaac. "Elias," she greeted, her voice carrying a hint of both respect and curiosity. "It's been some time since our paths last crossed." He nodded, sensing the weight of her presence. "Yes, Mara. What brings you here?" She stepped closer, her expression thoughtful. "I have come to observe how you fulfill your duty. Isaac entrusted you with a legacy, and I am here to ensure its continuation." Elias felt a mixture of apprehension and intrigue. "Is there something you need from me?" Mara's gaze softened. "Not directly. I wish to offer you guidance, if you are willing to accept it." The realms are ever-changing, and new challenges may arise that require your attention. He considered her offer, recalling the tumultuous times Isaac had faced against the Eater of Souls. I appreciate your willingness to help. What form will your guidance take? She extended her hand, revealing a small, intricately carved pendant. This is a token of protection. It will aid you in times of great need, should darkness attempt to disrupt the balance once more. Elias took the pendant, feeling a surge of warmth as it settled against his chest. Thank you, Mara. I will honor this gift and remain vigilant in my duty. She nodded, a faint smile playing on her lips. Remember, Elias, the strength of the ferryman lies not only in his power, but in his heart. You need to listen, to understand, and to guide with compassion. With that, Mara faded into the twilight, leaving Elias with a renewed sense of purpose. The pendant served as a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all realms and the ongoing need to protect the delicate balance between life and death. As seasons changed, Elias encountered new challenges that tested his resolve. There were times when restless spirits sought to return to the living, driven by unfinished business or unresolved emotion. Each encounter required patience and empathy as he navigated the complexities of their desires and the natural order of their departure. One chilly autumn night, a particularly distressed soul approached him. It was a young man named Daniel, whose spirit was engulfed in turmoil. I can't leave, Daniel pleaded, his form flickering with anxiety. I do so much I didn't do, so much I regret. Elias listened intently, recognizing the signs of a soul struggling to accept its fate. Daniel, indeed, gently. Sometimes our regrets weigh heavily on us, but it's important to remember that your life had meaning. You touched others in ways you may not even realize. Daniel's spirit shimmered, a flicker of hope sparking in his eye. But what if I could have changed things? What if I could go back to... Elias took a moment before responding, understanding the depths of Daniel's anguish. The past shapes who we are, but it's the memories and the impact you've had that truly matter. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding peace with who you were and what you became. Slowly, Daniel's form began to stabilize, the turmoil within him calming as he accepted the truth in Elias's word. Thank you, he whispered, stepping onto the ferry with a newfound sense of serenity. As time went on, Elias became a beacon of hope and solace for the souls he guided. His presence brought comfort to those in need, and his unwavering dedication ensured that the river flowed smoothly, maintaining the balance between life and death. One day, Elias encountered a spirit unlike any he had seen before. It was a being of pure darkness, its form shifting and elusive. The air around it seemed to distort, and an unsettling silence enveloped the area. Elias approached cautiously, sensing a presence that defied the natural order. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice steady despite the unease that gnawed at him. The darkness coalesced into a more defined shape, revealing a figure cloaked in shadow. "I am the embodiment of lost hope," it declared, its voice echoing with an unnatural resonance. "I have come to challenge the balance you so diligently maintain." Elias felt a chill run down his spine. "Krals, what do you see?" The entity's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, frank to disrupt the equilibrium, to plunge both realms into eternal chaos. "Souls must be consumed to fuel my existence." Elias took a step back, realizing the gravity of the threat before him. "I won't allow that to happen. The balance must be preserved." The being laughed, a sound that reverberated through the stillness. "Are you a mere ferryman? Think you can stand against me?" Elias squared his shoulders, the pendant around his neck pulsing with energy. "I stand with those who seek peace. Your disruption ends here." Without warning, the entity lunged at him, tendrils of darkness reaching out to ensnare his spirit. Elias raised his hand, channeling the light within him, the pendant amplifying his power. A brilliant beam of energy surged forth, colliding with the darkness and causing the entity to recoil. The battle that ensued was unlike any Elias had faced before. The darkness was relentless, its forms shifting and adapting to his every move. But Elias remained steadfast, drawing strength from the pendant and the legacy of Isaac that guided him. As the struggle intensified, Elias realized that sheer force alone would not defeat this adversary. He needed to understand its source to find a way to restore balance without causing further harm. Closing his eyes, he reached out with his spirit, seeking a connection to the essence of the darkness. In that moment of connection, Elias glimpsed a fragment of the entity's origin, a soul consumed by despair, twisted by its own inability to find peace. It was a reflection of the very struggles he faced daily, a reminder of the fragility of hope. "Why do you persist in this path?" Elias asked, his voice echoing with empathy. "There is still light within you. Let it guide you to peace." The darkness hesitated, the tendrils retracting as the entity grappled with its own torment. I was lost," it admitted, its voice wavering. I couldn't let go, and now I am trapped in this cycle of consumption." Elias approached cautiously, extending a hand of understanding to Ral. "You don't have to remain here. Let us help you find peace." The entity's form began to dissipate, the darkness retreating as a spark of light emerged from within. "Perhaps there is a way," it whispered before fading into the ether, leaving behind a sense of calm and restoration. Elias stood alone, the pendant's glow soothing the remnants of the disturbance. The river flowed steadily once more, the balance preserved through understanding and compassion. He realized that his role as the ferryman was not just about guiding souls, but also about healing and restoring harmony where it was broken. In the days that followed, stories of Elias's encounter with the darkness spread among the souls he guided. They spoke of his unwavering dedication and the light he brought, even in the face of overwhelming despair. Elias found solace in their gratitude, knowing that his efforts made a difference in their eternal journey. One evening, as the stars began to twinkle above the ethereal river, Elias reflected on his journey, the challenges he had faced, the souls he had guided, and the legacy he carried forward. All of it had shaped him into the guardian he had become. He felt a deep connection to the river and the realms beyond, understanding that his role was an integral part of the universe's intricate design. As he prepared to guide another soul across the river, a familiar warmth enveloped him. Isaac's presence was felt once more, a comforting reminder of the path that had led him here. "You're doing well." Isaac's voice resonated softly. "The balance is in good hands." Elias smiled, a sense of fulfillment washing over him. "Kyra, thank you. Isaac, your legacy lives on." With that affirmation, Elias turned his attention to the soul awaiting guidance, ready to continue his sacred duty. The river flowed on, a testament to the enduring cycle of life and death, and Elias stood as its steadfast guardian, ensuring that each soul found the peace they deserved.